Hey guys, welcome back to Tyler's Homestead. I wanted to introduce myself to new viewers and also give another walkthrough of the cabin to show some progress that I've made and answer some questions that I've had. So this is my off-grid cabin that I purchased. It's been mostly abandoned for, I would say, close to 15 years. There have been people that have lived here on a rental basis with the owner, but it really hasn't been upkept and cared for. It's one of those situations where it was built and it's built very well, but never really finished or trimmed out. And then, of course, with the nature of having rental properties and that sort of thing, people upkeep it just enough to live there, but not really want to put any of their energy or money into it. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. When I got it, I purchased it from the person who actually built this property or built this building, who lives very close to here. And so I have a great resource in understanding what's been done to it and how different things were built. It's built very well. That man who built it, his career was a carpenter builder, so he built this pretty early in his life, just knowing how old he is and when this was built. But I can tell you it's built very well. I've had builder friends and experts in a couple different fields come out and look at it with me, and one of my main concerns was, how are the bones, because you can tell the roof needs to be repaired. Some of the on the inside, I'll walk you through it, needs a lot of work, but the bones are very good. It's on piers. The piers are not sunken. There's no damage to them. They're dug very deep. They're strong concrete, and if you walk through it, everything's still pretty level and square, and it was built in 1980. So if nothing sunk in that period of time, I think we should be pretty safe. This is my buddy Bandit. I don't know if you've seen some other videos, but he's someone I'm gonna try to get some more videos and features of. It's Australian Shepherd and Border Collie mix, and he's gonna be 7 years old in April, so he's really good dog. Little bit tough to get on camera sometimes because he's doing his own thing, but very nice, friendly dog, goes everywhere with me. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the cabin and around it and show you some of the things I've done and some of the things I've noticed, and hopefully you guys learned something or gained something from this video. And my goal is to document my process as I go along, probably over the next 6 months or so, getting this place up to a point where it's livable and I can stay out here and work on it instead of having to travel back and forth. I'm staying about 30 minutes away from here, so it's not terribly bad, but it'll be a lot nicer to stay out here. It is off-grid. There's no utilities, no electricity, no plumbing. There's a dug pit for an outhouse that has been torn down, but that would be the plumbing situation. And then there is an old hand dug well that I'll give you a tour of here later too, but that's the water source. Panda is taking a poop in my background there, but we'll clean that up. There is pretty good access for solar. I'm gonna put a solar array on this side of the roof, and then I'm probably gonna do a ground mounted array to double that capacity, whether it's down in this area here or I can put one up here too. I just need to figure out angles of the sun and that sort of thing, but I'm definitely it's February right now, and I've been out here the last couple months. You can see, I think this side of the roof is gonna be pretty nice, getting some sun. So I'm gonna walk you guys through the cabin and show you the rest of it. All right, so you can see this pine siding. I really like the kind of patina on it. Needs to be cleaned, obviously, but there is some rotting down where there's water splashing and water damage. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna take care of that. One idea I had is to do like a metal roofing wainscoting there up to about here, and then just running that into the wood. So that is one thing on my agenda. Some of my other videos, you can see there was just some really dilapidated insulation down here underneath that I've torn out, and that's what's in all these bags. So I'll take that all to the dump in when the weather improves and I can get a trailer back here. But you can see some of these piers under here. It all looks pretty nice. Everything's nice and level. Really no water damage or anything down here. There was some obviously rodent damage from the insulation and that sort of thing. So I'm gonna end up putting all new windows in. This back side, the wood's in a little bit better condition. The roof on this back side is just covered in pine needles, doesn't get a lot of sun. So I'm gonna do the roof, of course, coming up this spring. So this is where there was an outhouse. It's a pretty good pit there, I would say 10 feet deep at least. But we'll get that squared away. This is, I guess I would call this the south side of the building. That's a generator I got to help me run power tools and that sort of thing. Most of this stuff that's out here is just things that I have torn out of the building. This satellite dish, I had a job to remove it from a client's house, and I got to thinking maybe I could turn that into a cell phone reception booster and put the cell phone, mount the cell phone somehow here and point this in the direction of the towers and get some of that cell phone signal beamed straight to your phone. I think it does work. I've tried it a little bit, so we might need to get that mounted until I can get better electricity. I'm gonna get solar again, and then I'm gonna get Starlink out here for service. I don't get any cell phone service otherwise, but if I stand in the right place, or if I put the cell phone right on the tip of that satellite dish where the beams are, the signal is amplified, so to say, then I can actually get a bar to listen to music on my phone, that sort of thing. So there's some water damage I need to investigate closer, like on the sidewalls there, but nothing too bad. I don't think it's anything that's gonna be troubling. This roof is, I think it's a 12-12 pitch. I don't know exactly. I put that tarp up. This side of the roof's been re-shingled over the old stuff, but that's the only section. This section, you can kind of see where that moss is poking through is what the whole roof looked like, and it honestly wasn't leaking. There was one kind of, or two pinhole leaks almost right in the middle of where that tarp is, that I just wanted to get that covered up for peace of mind for the winter time, because I got this place in November, and luckily, because there was insulation, but a lot of it had fallen out of the rafter spaces. There was nothing holding that water and moisture that would leak through against the wood. It would just drip in and dry up because there's good airflow in there, because there's nothing in these soffits. And so there was there's very minimal damage. I'm sure I'll find some water damage and boards that need to be replaced, but for the most part I was pretty impressed that there wasn't anything too bad, and we'll address that here coming up this spring. So we're gonna go in the cabin and I'll kind of show you what I've done and what I've noticed. So this will end up being kind of like a kitchen area. When I got it, there was kind of like a rudimentary built with 2x4 countertop in here that I've mostly torn out because I need to get back there because I'm going to re-insulate it. I'm probably, depending on pricing, going to spray foam these cavities. So I'll show you what's going on in these joists, in these cavities here, these wall cavities. So it's 2x6, and then there's stringers, a rough cut 2x4, I guess, stringer, with tar paper on the outside of these joists, stringer on the outside of the tar paper, and this is my outside siding. So there's this air gap there, which is, since this board and batten, or it's really tongue and groove siding, has water, water can get through these knot holes, or water can get through these cracks. It has room to breathe back there, so it doesn't rot from the backside. And you can see it's actually pretty good shape. So some of this tar paper, like in there and above the sink was pretty bad, was just ravaged by squirrels and mice. You can see that kind of squirrels. I never seen mice eat wood, so I think this is all squirrel damage. Got rid of that tar paper. So what I'm gonna do is, where I need to fix the tar paper, another kind of entrance up there for a squirrel, I'm gonna fix that tar paper up, and then hopefully, depending on pricing again, I'm gonna just get spray foam blown right on this tar paper in these joist cavities. And what that will do is two things. It will insulate and it will air seal. I guess three things for me. And it's gonna lock in some of this, nastiness from the rodents that were in here. And it doesn't actually smell that bad right now, but when I first started tearing into this, because it's aired out now for a month or two, I got a lot of that gross insulation out, and we're in a lot better place now. So I might be able to get away with, if I don't want to spray foam the walls, then what I'm gonna do is probably use a rock wool in here, and then I still need to air seal it with a plastic membrane before I put up any wall sheathing. But I think it'd be a lot, it's gonna do three things to air seal it and insulate it if I use spray foam. So that's my goal. We're gonna see what the pricing looks like on that. I'm definitely going to try to spray foam underneath the building where I showed you, because that's gonna seal up some of these bigger cracks in the floorboards and also air seal it. So that's my goal there. So this room has 10-foot ceilings, which is awesome. And you can see they had this was the bathroom that was roughed in. There's a door right there that was roughed into this nice tall area. So I'm gonna take advantage of this high ceiling and try to turn that kind of into the living quarters or living room area where you spend most of your time. So that'll be super nice. This staircase is pretty unique. That's something that I spent a lot of time putting in. I actually built a couple staircases before I decided this was gonna be the one. Because then I had a building friend kind of help me brainstorm ideas here. So what there was just a ladder going straight up from here to that second level, which wasn't gonna really work for me. So what I had to do was take into account the headroom situations, because if you look in coming through the door, if this staircase was sloped less slope, I guess, there would be headroom issues coming through this entryway. You hit your head on the staircase, and then you'd also be challenged with the staircase eating up almost half of this room. So coming into almost where I'm standing now is where that staircase would need to go. And then you've got headroom issues up here. This can be remedied. I can header that out and do a better job. But as it stands now, I'm not tall. I'm 5'8". This staircase works pretty well for me. I don't have to duck my head or anything. I'm gonna get, I guess this would be considered a ship ladder, I think is what they would call it. Just the way it's oriented and the steepness of it. It's still rise and run within code, but what I want to do is get some nice railings on here to help kind of pull yourself up and down. I don't have a problem with it, but my dad, who's a little older, of course, was out here, and he was able to get up and down it, but you could tell it was a little bit more challenging. So again, new windows, we'll take our time doing that. There's a door behind this insulation that's probably going to get removed and just framed over. You can see again, and check out my other videos about what the insulation looked like and what it looked like when I first got this place. There's some new windows I got, or new to me. They're taken out of an old building and we were putting more windows in. So again, new to me windows, but take a look at some of my old videos. You'll see what this looked like. This is what the insulation looked like that I've mostly torn out. This is the last kind of frontier of the old insulation, because I just have this wood leaned up here. Once the snow is gone, I'll get this wood outside, covered up, and then have this area taken care of. But you can see, if I tore this insulation down where that hole is, there's actually no insulation in there. Most of it's been packed down or brought to other nests where the rodents were living. So there wasn't a single joist cavity in this entire building, if you look around, that didn't have rodent activity in it. And it wasn't just like a nest here or there. It was like infested with mice and squirrels. And I really only saw one mouse and one squirrel the entire time I spent tearing things apart. I think most of the nests I was taking apart were not active, but so these windows don't open, and this is nice stained glass. I'm going to try to utilize these someplace else. And this is old glass. You can see it's wavy. I don't know how well you can see that. It's wavy glass in here. This is all really nicely done. I need to figure out the significance of where this stuff came from. I'll ask the guy who sold it to me, but I like that window, but I really need that window on this side of the building to open up so that I can get some cross breeze and ventilation in here. So we're gonna do a new window there, and then identically on the other side, this section is identical to that section. It just those windows are able to open, but we're going to do the same windows on both sides. Both will be double hung, able to open. And you can see, so this side of the building, I've removed all these staples and remnants of the insulation from when I tore it out, and this is definitely I want to get spray foamed again to air seal, insulate, but in this section of the house, I want it to be kind of gable ceilings. I think that's the best use of this area. When I first got it, there was insulation in these cavities, no sort of air gap or anything, and then there was like a mini attic in this area, so you could get ventilation through those gable ridge vents, or ridge vents through there. But I'm impressed. Not a lot of damage to this wood, some water damage. Again, the tarp's on this side of the building, but I think we're going to be in good shape. There'll be some boards we need to replace, but we're in pretty good shape. So you can see these rafters are in very good shape. I removed all the staples, which that was no fun, because look at on this side where the staples still are. There are just so many staples in there. They went crazy with the staple gun. And I think there are probably twice as many on that side, because it looked like that insulation had fallen out and they put new insulation in. This insulation was given to me from a rehab that was being done on a house. Again, they had insulated it a few years ago with fresh, brand new insulation. Tore it, did a remodel, tore it out, and spray foamed it. So this was the good insulation that came out. So I'll find a place for that. This window opens and closes, but it looks like a bullet hole there. Something happened here. I mean, that needs to be replaced, and I have plans for new windows too. So same thing on this side, except I don't think there's any leaks on this side of the building. So some good space up here. I'll probably have a bedroom and like an office up here, and maybe a bunk room / office for friends when they come and visit. But I really do like it up here. Let's see how we handle the heat and the cold. I'm more concerned about the weather in the summer and just all the heat coming up in here, and without having a window that opens on this side, there's no cross breeze potential. So that's one reason I want to get that taken care of. I can actually utilize this space and not, on those 80-90 degree days, not get super hot. So this is kind of an interesting feature of this cabin. I'm sure you've seen in my other videos the cupola. So we're gonna climb this ladder, and this was where I actually saw mice and squirrel, one mouse and one squirrel up here living when I was tearing it all apart. And it's the area that still smells the worst. So what I'm going to end up doing, this chimney, I don't think I'm going to be utilizing. You can see daylight through there, and then this is where there's some water damage to that rafter joist coming down here. So I need to get that taken care of, but not too bad. You can see mice or squirrel was chewing in that area. So I got this all cleaned out, starting to get aired out. It still smells up here, but not as bad, I can tell you, as it did probably a week ago. So really nice view up here. Nice feature of the building. And what we'll do is you can get out on the roof right here. Actually, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can get out here, and this roof's nice, really steep, but I think I'll be able to work on it no problem. Luckily it's not huge. So that's about it. I know I've had a few videos showing walkthroughs on this property, and I wanted to do another one just to introduce more people, but also show you some of the progress that's happening. And if you please would watch the videos, but also like and subscribe, that'd be a huge help. I'm trying to kind of reach the threshold of YouTube sending me some money. I don't expect it to be a lot, but I'm just curious how that whole thing works, and we'll see how it goes. And if I've got some good supporters out there, then who knows what can happen. But we'll eventually have this building and property livable, and we'll be living out here with hopefully solar. We'll have water, and all the necessities. So we'll build an outhouse on that foundation, and I think we can live out here. We'll get some propane for a stove, and I'll document as much as I can. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.